Hi, and welcome to the Medium channel. Welcome to Tarot Times. We're going to take a little snapshot of the energies that are going to be around us this week, affecting all of us. So you may get some personal messages or some insights into what's going on in the world around us. And if you're watching this as a video, we will start in just a minute. I give the live people a minute to get their notifications and come in. So we do our meditation card for the week, a 3-card spread. And then I've got other divination decks to work with also, and always open to direct messages from spirit. So I'm going to put the old glasses on, say a few quick hellos. Hi, Brooke and Yvonne and Blindly Inspired, and hi, Millie, and hi, Mr. Floyd's channeling channel, and Huda. And I guess I'm a minute or two late. I've got a list here. Hi, Claire. Hi, Millie. Jody, welcome. And hi, Anna. Good morning. Good morning, Yolanda. Welcome. I think I got everybody, but if I missed you, it's by accident. So, anyways, definitely a lot going on, and we sort of open up our tarot times. It's a weekly meeting, Mondays at 11 Eastern time. So I kind of open that up to some community interaction, and you guys tend to have some really good, lively conversation. So, there's a few things going on. How are you all feeling after the eclipses? How's your energy? Did you get a shift? What are you experiencing? And then also, there's a lot going on in the Middle East with Iran and those countries, and Israel and Palestine and everything. So, there's a lot of those flexing of muscles like we talked about. We talked about other countries getting involved. Iran was cited, and different psychic forecasts we've done here on the channel. And that's likely to build and escalate. I'm not going to say anything about going into another world war. So I still don't think that's going to quite happen, but there may be some conjecture or fear around that. So if you guys have any insights into that, or how we're feeling, or whatever you guys want to talk about. So, hi, and Anissa Beckford, welcome from London. Yeah, if anybody's new or you just want to say where in this big wide world you're watching us from, please do. So, rest of Bali, Huda. Okay, I don't know what you guys are saying. Anyway, good morning to you too, Mr. Floyd's channeling and right. We grab some water, and we shall dive right in. I know there's other current events and everything. Hi, MDR. But that's the main one, and that's what a lot of people are talking about. We know that what else is going on? Yeah, there's some movements apparently beneath the surface around the economy and the BRICS nations, and possible involvement with the U.S. or other Western countries. So a lot's changing. The whole landscape of our planet is changing, which is probably a good thing, though. With extreme change, often comes challenge before the gift, or before things get really good and more fair for everybody. So yeah, it's sort of a movement towards centralization, but there's there's good ways of doing that also. So anyway, so 22 in the chat now. All right, so we're just getting started. Thanks for that. All right, so I don't want my glasses on right now. I'll probably have to put them on in a minute. So let's dive right on in, and we'll do our meditation card for the week. And hopefully things are good by you. It's pretty overcast here. It's getting darker, so things can rain soon. Actually, got home sometime after midnight last night, after going to Flushing, New York, in New York City from my abode here in the Catskills, to do some mediumship work for a group, which went very well, but it was a lot of driving, and I'll put it this way: I did not fall asleep till it was light out. So if I slur my words, I did not have a drink or a toke or anything like that. I'm just haven't slept in 3 nights ago. I slept, so it's been 2 nights that I haven't got more than 2 hours of sleep in. So anyhow, Anyhow, so sunny. Wait. Glasses on. Sunny and 85. Wow. Yeah, and you're in Colorado now. In April in Colorado, it could be 85 one day, snow the next day, especially if you're up in elevation a little bit. But from my understandings of my meteorology days, I actually graduated with a BA in meteorology. Why it's not a Bachelor of Science? It was a Bachelor of Arts. And meteorology is clearly a science, but I have a BA, and from what I understand, March is the snowiest month out there on average, and April's number 2. So more snow in the spring than the winter there. Next week 40 and 25. Yeah, that's the way it is there. Yeah, we had a day in the 70s here about a week ago. It was beautiful. It's in the 40s and 50s, and it's been raining for the last 3 or 4 days straight here in the beautiful Northeast. So some beautiful energy around. Sunshine definitely helps. Yeah. And Millie's back on the road, gorgeous, and 63 here in northern New Jersey. Yeah, so you might Mill, you might know the Spiritualist Church in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, then, which I haven't been to for a while, but I'm sort of loosely affiliated with it. It's called Journeyed Within, and that was Janet Nohavic's church. She passed on about a year and a half ago. I'm not sure who's running it, but they still have programs there. She worked with a lot of the British mediums at Arthur Findlay College. For those of you that are mediums or interested in mediumship, so and she used to bring a lot of the tutors. Like I got to study with Colin Bates at her church several years ago. So anyway, so what else are you guys saying? 70 on Thursday here in Jamestown. Oh well, I was just up by your way for the eclipse. It was a beautiful, cloudy experience. Didn't see the sun, didn't see the eclipse, felt it. It got suddenly dark, and then 3.5 minutes later, got suddenly light through the overcast. And I sat in sweat lodge for the lodge was over an hour. The long sweat lodge. It was great to leave all of my old self in that cave womb of Mother Earth in the lodge there, and be reborn. So it was a great experience. Hi, Michael, and hi, Donna, and anybody else sneak in that I didn't see. All right. So we're doing a meditation card now. We're up to that point of the morning. Yes, 11:11. Hi, horses. Triggers hope. Welcome. 11:11. It is. Make a wish. Step through the portals. Okay, need to clear my mind a second. Okay, I found my card, or your card. Wow, it's a king of swords. Cool. So meditating with tarot card, of course. I have to say there's no wrong way to meditate. As long as you're stilling your mind, and you're getting centered and present. But once you get to that point, centered, present, heart open, meditating with the tarot card, I encourage you guys to then step into the card and step into this reality. So it's sort of going through a doorway to a whole new world, basically, where the King of Swords might be a spirit guide or somebody that passed on, or an aspect of God or spirit, or whatever. So get relaxed, gauge your energy when you step through. The first thing is, how do you feel different? So if you're aware of your body and your emotions, but you're not thinking about anything, you're just present and open, you'll feel a subtle shift when you step into this different dimensional reality that exists within the image of these cards. And from there, you can just look around, look at the scenery. This may be a spirit guide to talk to. You can ask for messages. Yeah, as a meaning, King of Swords is like a double air quality, because kings represent or connected with the element of air, anyways, and so are swords. And if you're an air sign male like myself, this would be your card if you use astrological significators in your tarot work. So that's basically that. So this is to go on for this week. Kings tend to be leaders. Swords tend to be more like intellectual. It's tend to be like maybe more of a card of diplomacy. Although it can be because it's swords, it can also be battle, and swords also represent communication and truth. So as a meaning, we may get a little bit more truth. There's like a funny bird flying by my. Oh, there's two birds flying by my window. Okay, they're frolicking out there, saying it's gonna rain soon. We need to frolic now. So anyway, I'm digressing. I warned you guys. I haven't slept for 2 nights, so bear with me. But anyway, there you have it. So, or is there a third bird? Birds represent messages from spirits, so I think my guides are trying to talk to me. So what are they saying? The message that comes and go home. So maybe what they're saying is that you step into the card, go home. And this could be like home to your wherever your seed planet is, because we're all hybrid beings to greater or lesser degree. So we all have some measure of star seed or extraterrestrial origins, or your spiritual home, or whatever. But this, the sword can represent the truth, air. What else? There's something else that came to my mind and left my mind just like that. All right. In diplomacy, so it favors that. So we may get a little bit of that going on also. That is. So this is cool. So that's the exact message you're getting. Good. Oh, very good. Have a wonderful time. And Huda has a really beautiful YouTube channel, by the way, and who's been I haven't been able to see any of them, but they've come up on my screen. You're not Navaratri ceremonies. I'm gonna catch one of those soon. And who else do we have on that's on YouTube? But we have Mr. Floyd's channeling channel that does channeling work with Archangel Raphael and Saint Germain. So he does a lot of cool work on his channel also. Oh, oh yeah, I reposted that. That was an accident, huh? And say loving, healing energy, favor to you horses. Yes, yes, absolutely. And Colleen. By the way, oh, I wish I had my list because I forgot the second person. We hit 10,000 subscribers on April the 11th. Colleen Pecorino was one of the winners. You were one of the winners. The contest was guess which day. This is when I hit 9,000 subscribers. I guess which day we're going to hit 10,000. Happened April 11th. And oh my goodness, I wish I had my list in front of me. But we'll get the word out to the other person one way or another. The one that. But if you were in. Yeah, you got congratulations. So email us or message me on Facebook and I'll give you the email. All right. Okay. So let's do our 3-card spread. Is it Star Love? Star Love. I think that's the other one who's not in right now. I don't believe. But I think it was you, Star Love. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I'll do another community post because I did that when we first hit 10,000, and the two winners didn't see that post. That's the thing about YouTube community posts. Most of you don't see them. If you do, you're lucky. All right. So, anyways, so I'm gonna ask Spirit to get me the right cards. So this is 3 cards, but this will be the energy forecast for the week. We may pick up on specific things, we may not. Oh gosh, how specific things came up recently. Yeah, not that I predicted New York City would have an earthquake, but unusual areas. I cited actually the Ohio Valley, so it wasn't that far off. Before the earthquake happened, before the eclipse, there's a couple of other very specific predictions that came true. Can't remember what they were, so that means you'll have to go back. No, I'm teasing. I was going to say you'll have to go back and listen to my April psychic forecast and my March psychic forecast and other tarot times, and then I had the spring summer update recently, and everything. All right, all right. Thank you for all the congratulations, everybody, for that. So we're working on our next 10,000 now. We only have 9,900 to go. So we've gotten 100 new people since the 11th. That's not bad. All right, so clearing my mind. So I'm seeing white horses now. You know, horses to me represent power, empowerment, freedom, beautiful beings of light and energy. And white is more about purity and transcendence from the physical to the all knowing and the all seeing one. Basically, and in my mind, the horse either turned to no, not I'd say Pegasus or unicorn. No, that's a unicorn they showed me. So ride your unicorn to nirvana. All right. Clearing my mind. Right card. Here's number 1. Number 2. Number 3. All right, so we got 3 cards. Got my clipboard. Okay, things are definitely moving. I can tell you that. Just the energy of these cards. We may get some pretty favorable news, all things being relative, about things like the economy or money or the trends in that direction. Now, it's been predicted by several sources, astrologers and maybe economists too, that we're due to have a crash around April the 20th, which is just a few days away. Um, yeah, that could be, but sometimes things need to crash to be rebuilt. It's not so severe. Like if this is the Tower card, I might make a bigger deal about that. But the Five of Swords, sometimes it's a victory, but it's not a happy victory. It's almost like having to overcome some enemy or some force that we'd rather not deal with, basically. But it's still a victory, and I think the energy is really about like overthrowing this week. It's overcoming, overthrowing. So in your own personal lives, this energy would be best used maybe to overcome any like addictive patterns or any trends towards negative thinking or negative emotions. I mean, you're definitely entitled to negative thoughts or negative emotions. Personally, I don't see anything fundamentally wrong with that. It's just the thoughts that you feed or the emotions that you feed that you have to be aware of. I mean, I have negative thoughts all the time, but I've learned, thanks to Dr. Joe Dispenza and others, I've learned to step out of that and observe that and understand that it's just a reaction. It's just part of a programming that I'm working to clear. And our programming gets exploited because they understand that. When I say they, if you want to call those that really rule the world the cabal or the deep state or the ruling party that kind of governs the governments and the corporation, whatever it is, they it's a lot of the programming in society is very specifically designed to basically keep people sort of running like in a treadmill, like a mouse in a treadmill, basically. Kind of like the faster you run, you don't get anywhere, basically. So meditation is so key, presence and doing your heart brain coherence or any form of heart expansion that brings the heart into the coherent emotions of love and gratitude and appreciation and compassion. But there's a specific practice called heart brain coherence, and those of you that are on the channel regularly know that because I talk about it all the time. Um, um, so I want to post this because Michael Marr knows a little bit more about the economy than I do. He's saying nothing favorable concerning the economy, just smoke and mirrors. Every 90 days we are another $1 trillion in debt. Thanks for that insight. So this is, I don't believe that that's an accident. I believe that's done on purpose, basically. And you just kind of look out there and all the inconsistencies. It's like how could a country be so many $1 trillion in debt, basically, or how could the most feared communist country in the world still be part of free trade, to the Western world, when they've had over 70 years to figure that out. If they were such a threat to the world, why do we support them economically by buying their good, rather than over the course of 70 years figure out how to create some of these products domestically, or work with other nations? So, if you point being is that, and I know there's more to that story than that. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but if you really look at things and see what's going on, you just know that there's a game, that there's a manipulation, that we're being led. And they want us to be in fear. They want us to be in guilt and shame, because those are the lowest vibrations: anger, guilt, and shame, and fear. In fact, according to Dr. David Hawkins and others that studies emotional frequency, guilt and shame is the lowest of the frequencies. So, be aware of that. Yeah, and you'll find that in your own life. When people want to manipulate you, they'll be like, I remember growing up, I heard shame on you many, many times. Yes. So let's see, what else are you guys saying about this? New beginnings, new week, positive energy. Thank you. Thank you for that. Um, and it's saying that I've been exhausted, so good sleep keeps running away. Oh yeah, yeah. So allergy season, but also ascension symptoms. And by the way, we did a a long form upload on Thursday on eclipse sickness and ascension symptoms. It's just basically around the eclipse seasons. Ascension symptoms tend to be stronger because there's more energy. There's higher frequencies, and we had a obviously really doozy of an eclipse season. And of course, in the Americas, where the actual visible eclipse was, that would be the center point, but it affects the whole planet. It's not just here in the Americas. So let's see what else. Gratitude's important. Thank you, Donna. And Michael saying, I do too, Adam, definitely done on purpose, controlled volition. Too stupid to be stupid. I like that. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. I'll show the cards again. I'm going to get back to that, Yolanda. So I just wanted to get post a few things here. Magnesium cream nightly, is that helping, or I need to get Epsom salts, because you absorb sort of a minute amount of magnesium when you soak in Epsom salts, so that helps also. Right, horses and souls resonate with you. Oh wow, cool. So if you've been a horse lover, good. Rodent child, yes. On birthday, very good. All right, there's other comment. I mean, I could post that, but yeah, I have to post this. Shame on you. No, I'm neutralized. Just kidding. Yeah, yeah, I got that. It wasn't religious shame, though. I mean, that's a whole other ball game. But I mean, shame is shame, right? It was more like being poor behavior. So anyway, so the cards here are this. So we have two cards with scales. So that's worth noting. There's only two cards with scales in 78 cards of the tarot. We got both of them. The Six of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and then the Justice card. They're all upright. When I get them all upright, I feel like it's more of a progressive time. Now we're right in the middle of the Mercury retrograde now. I mean, today might actually be midpoint. I mean, Mercury retrograde. For me, it tends to slack off a little bit when Mercury's moving, even if it's moving backwards. But once we get closer to the next station, which is going to begin, again around the 20th or so, things may get very bogged down again with communication, travel, computers, and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a general trend or general energy don't freak out. Understand the movement of the cosmos, the movement of frequency and energy on the planet, and the movement of the planets can give us a roadmap as to what's happening, and learn to work with that. But I'll tell people, you need to sign a contract during your Mercury retrograde. Sign the freaking contract. Just be aware there might be delays. There may be snags or snafus. That can happen anyway, but it's more likely. It's a matter of percentages more than anything. It's like, it's easier to swim with the current than against the current. But if you have to swim against the current, call on one of my favorite totems, the salmon. We have these power animals for a reason. It's like, salmon, get me safely upstream to where I need to go. I've got to move. I've got to sign contract. I know I've about a half dozen clients that are suddenly having to move, that their landlord's selling the building or whatever, and they have like a month or 2 months to do it. So that's been coming up a lot as well. Hi, Felicia. So we're talking about horses, and Felicia knows a lot about horses. So scales can be legal. It can be balanced. Government stuff, the Justice card, it's Libra, but the planet Saturn's exalted in Libra, so it has a little bit of that Saturn energy along with the beautiful balanced Libra. But you notice the scales on this card, they're not exactly in balance. One's below the other, and in the other hand's a sword, truth, justice. Swords here also. So we've got a lot of swords, we got a lot of scales. And I think for a few of you that, for a personal message, there may be some money that's either unexpected or due that comes from an unearned source, like non-income money that comes in. So, that may come up for some of you. I think a lot of you are trying to seek the balance. I think a lot of you really felt the shift during the eclipse. And thank you so much, Aussie Jen. Thank you for the super sticker. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And where was I? Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. But in any event, thank you so much for that. It's so much appreciated. So you lots of swords and okay, yeah. I think for some of you, and maybe for Jen or some of you here that are here also, you may just be needing to just move out of situations, like end a friendship, end a relationship. Yeah, for your own growth and development, for your own good, basically, or you may need to call somebody out. A lot of you are very empathic that are here. I mean, like attracts like, and when they wrote the book on empaths, they were talking about me basically, and maybe you also. And it's known that empaths are very magnetic to narcissists, because people that kind of sort of sniff out the sensitive ones because they know they can take advantage of them more easily. So, but in any event, the point being is that we're all getting stronger. Like we're those of us that have been people pleasers are not that way anymore. People don't get over on me so easily anymore like they used to. And I think a lot of you can relate to that. So we're putting our foot down. We're creating our boundaries. We're creating our shields. I feel like a message for us is no matter what comes out, if there's the specter of war or whatever, I mean, it's all an illusion anyway. There really is no war. It's really orchestrated. I mean, that said, I mean, not to dismiss people that are suffering because there's battles that are going on around the world and there's drones and bombs and people dying and people losing their homes, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. Meanwhile, the companies like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin keep getting government funding, and right at the beginning of the conflict in Russia and Ukraine, right at the beginning of that, they were funded for a long war. It's like, how do we know it's going to be a long war unless there's some pre-knowledge to it? Unless they're all tarot readers, the world leaders are getting together. It's like, let's pull some cards. Oops, we got this car. It's gonna be a long war. Call the CEO of Lockheed Martin. Let's get the weapons going. Yeah, and keep our sensitive humor. I mean, it's not funny, but let's keep our sensitive humor about it. And but again, I like this. It's like receiving, like be okay to receive. As we let people go and we really work on our own reprogramming and not buy into that fear. Yeah, we know how they work. We know how the media works. It's like they want to point their finger one direction this way, or we can point our finger this way, but all the actions keep happening this way. It's like a sleight of hand. If you see a magician, they're diverting your attention one way, yeah, and doing sleight of hand in another. You're not seeing what's going on in the other hand. It's like, oh my God, that was amazing. And it was that somebody has that much speed and precision that they can pull it off. I was friends with somebody who's a magician. It just blows me away, like that they can do what they can do. But that's basically it. It's all like a game of sleight of hand and illusion. So I take every conspiracy theory I hear. I don't want to say with a grain of salt, but with a balanced perspective. It's like, is this real or is this a diversion? Because there's plants in these groups. Like I'm not going to mention any names, but there's a well-known I don't know if you would call them a far right conspiracy group, but they're a well-known one, and they may have a lot of answers and insights. So there's no judgment, but point being is these groups get infiltrated by those powers that want to divert attention. So there's a lot of undermining of that, but there's a lot going on underground beneath the surface, probably a lot more than we know. They're showing me like underground tunnels and stuff like that. I'm talking about that. So there's definitely some, call them the white hats or whatever name you want to give that, but there are forces that are working. There is a battle going on. There is a cosmic war that's happening, and it's there's a reflection of that here on Earth. At least this is what I believe from what I get through spirit and channeling, as well as what I may be able to glean from other teachers, basically. That we're kind of caught in this, but it's a spiritual war also. There's a war against consciousness, because waking up means that they lose their power. If humanity wakes up, then we move back towards power by the people, towards the people. And not to put any labels on things, but the whole thing about the Western world start resembling more of a socialist regime than the democracy, it's definitely palpable to me, I want to say. And it's definitely been not just with the Biden administration or the Obama, it's been a systematic thing that's been going on. To my knowledge, from what I've been able to observe since really the 90s, probably much earlier, and my martial arts teacher back in the 70s was very politically aware and started to teach me about how to counter the conditioning, reprogram, and what's going on behind the scenes. They called it the grand plan back then. So anyhow, so so that's basically some of the information that I can get from that. I think it's time for a lot of you to move on from either a person, a situation, a job, a mindset. And the eclipse was such a big shift. I mean, the eclipse was, that was just the event. And as I was saying up to it in the eclipse updates and the psychic forecast, for the most part, the eclipse will come and go. It'll be quiet. I mean, I'm sure a few things happen. It's the aftermath, and a lot of people were concerned about the CERN generator, which, from what I understand, never even happened. Or I don't know if any of you know that, but the CERN was due to be fired up. That's the largest particle accelerator on the planet in Geneva, I believe, and that they were sending like rockets to research the eclipse. I mean, I don't know what research you would do from a rocket, but maybe with less atmosphere, you can get more insight into what's going on in the sun. I don't know, but in any event, they may have been smoke screens, just to put that out there. They may not have been. I don't know. I don't have ties with the government. I don't know. So when I say things, it's sort of my belief, what I've heard, what I've channeled, but it's not what I know. And the fact I don't know anything. And that means I'm open to learn, right? As soon as we think we know something, we shut off the ability to learn something new, basically. We may have beliefs and we may, I mean, I'll put it this way. We may intuitively know things, but that's different than intellectually believing that we know something. If that adds a little bit of clarity, because intuitively I'll know things and they'll be right, absolutely. So, but the other thing about that is, how do you discern your intuition from your ego? That takes a little bit of training, some meditation, learning what it feels like to be out of your ego and in that higher energy or that higher source. So somebody was saying something about CERN. It did get turned on April the 8th. Thanks for clarifying that. Um, and yes, but CERN under white hat control. You're saying allegedly. Yeah, again, you get so many different stories about things. I mean, I came into this as a scientist, to be honest. I majored in meteorology. I graduated in the mid-70s, and yes, I'm old, but that's when I graduated. We knew about global warming back then. In fact, by 1980, I knew the popular models back then, and they panned out pretty good, I have to say. But um, um I lost my train of thought. and anyhow, that totally went out. That means I need water. My train of thought came back. We were talking about the CERN generator from a scientific perspective and a aficionado of quantum physics. If it's not a doomsday machine or some political whatever, I'm all for it, because the more that we know about what goes on inside the atom, the more we know about the universe. That's basically the centerpiece of quantum physics. I'll put it that way. It's like what goes on inside the atom, um, and they're discovering new subatomic particles, and basically everything that goes inside of an atom is the same thing that goes outside in the universe. It's just that the atom is gazillion times smaller than the universe. What happens in an atom in a microsecond happens in the universe in a billion years, but it's the exact same process. The macrocosm and the microcosm are the same. So the more we know about the microcosm, the more we know about the workings of the universe. And the more we know about the workings of the universe, the more that we discover. The ancient mystics had it right all along. Go back to the Vedic teachers, go back to what Jesus and Buddha taught, and the great masters. They knew, they knew what was going on. Maybe not from a scientific perspective, but through their faith and their connection to source or God or spirit, they knew. So, so if it's for scientific research, I'm for it, basically. I'll just put it that way. It's my opinion, but I'm for it. Justice can represent rules. Find balance in your lives. That's the main thing. I need to move on. What time is it? Well, we're not doing badly today, time-wise. So I want to pull a Native American card. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Also, please like the video. Let's get this out over there. Also, you're very intuitive. Yes, I believe that too. Josh, what's a Yuri? I don't know. What is a Yuri? End of the news. It's the end of the news as we know it. And CERN is the largest halogen particle collider. Thanks for the specifics on that. So it's more than just a particle generator, is what you're saying. Very good. Let's manifest funds. Yes, I'm doing the same. Thank you. And MDR believes that the people and their damn beliefs have entered a cult in most situations, causing the ruin of everybody. Great. I love you guys sharing your take on things. It's kind of like we're looking at the same thing, but we may have different takes on it. And this is the medicine wheel teachings that I love. And I have my Native American deck. So like say, I don't know if you guys know what the medicine wheel looks like, but it's a circle. It's got like little, stones in it. I mean, anyway, point being is that if I hold the feather in the center of the circle, like if I hold it this way, to me, from my vantage point, it almost doesn't even look like a feather. It almost looks like some kind of a I don't know what you call it, like a something long and thin. But if I step to my left, then all of a sudden it looks like this. It looks completely different here than here, right? Completely different, yet it's the same feather. It's your vantage point. That's the only difference, but it's the same feather. It's the same reality that we're looking in. But based on our experiences, based on our past lives, based on what our mission is, we start our life at one point on the medicine wheel. And you can look at this from astrology also. There's a tool in astrology called progressions, where every like a solar progressions every year your sun progresses 1 degree. So I'm 1 degree Libra sun, but I'm also 65 years of age, so I've already transcended in my progression into the sign of Capricorn, basically. And then lunar progressions, it's every month, every 29 days that you progress 1 degree with that. So the idea is you're born with certain gifts. You're born with certain challenges. Your gifts are your assets. Your challenges are what you're meant to learn and grow in this lifetime. But you're not meant to stay at the same point. Like, I'm not meant to see this feather like this my whole life. I meant to walk around the wheel and slowly change my perspective of it. And that's what we're doing here. That's the growth. That's the spiritual growth. So I love the Native American teachings. I mean, yeah, I know they weren't perfect and all, and like a lot of people, they had their issues too. But my God, compared to what we have now, I mean, basically they teach us how to open our hearts, how to feel again, which a lot of spiritual paths do that. But I started to open up. Part of it was working with a couple of Native American teachers, just teaching me how to meditate in nature and how to walk through nature slowly and feel the energy of the trees. I mean, how many people, actually are able to quiet themselves enough, quiet their minds enough, and open their fields enough that they can feel the energy of each tree. And then to find like hot spots and cool spots, areas of high energy or low energy, to find the right spots to meditate. And one of my teachers, I was in the woods, and about a mile away, it was my hat, and it was freaking cold out. It was the winter also. So at some point, he had my hat. This happened a long time ago. I'm kind of messing the story up, so let me cut to the chase. Um, but he told me to find my hat, and he said, "You can't think about it. Just visualize your hat, and just let spirit move you." And my gosh, probably more like a half mile away, but the point being is that I made a beeline and I came right to that hat. And it was just trusting spirit and just allowing the energies to guide me. And so anyway, we're meant to open up. The Native people tried to teach us that. Here in the East, I had a beautiful vision, in the 90s, where I was near Woodstock in the woods, and there's a natural circle. And when I went into meditation, I just saw a ceremony in my mind. There were white people. There were Native American people. They were dancing. They were having a celebration. They were honoring the bear and the corn. And of course, my monkey mind kicked in and said, "This didn't happen. The white people gave the native smallpox." And it's like, well, what we hear in our history books is probably less than 1% of people. For the most part, from that vision in this area, and they were Dutch too. I didn't know that they were Dutch settlers. I actually did research after that experience and found out they were Dutch settlers. For the most part, they got along. The native people helped the European settlers that never knew a winter as severe as what we have in upstate New York. In Europe, if it reaches 32 degrees, that's a big deal. Well, it depends on what part of Europe, but anyway, so I think we get that. So again, the history books, also want to control our thinking and everything. So it's not everything we read is historically accurate. Not everything in the Bible is historically accurate, because it's the I think the King James was 5 translations, the Holy Bible 4 translations before English, and then there was the what was it called? The Conference of Benzestein, or anyway, the early Christians, selectively, there's man's Bible, then there's the ancient scriptures. But if you discerningly read man's Bible, you can get so much wisdom. I love the Bible, just to put that out there. So nothing against Christians, Christianity, nothing against anybody else's belief system. This is just my personal belief system, but there's history around that. So point being is, it's not the teachings. Yeah, the teachings are great. It's the manipulation of that and the programming that goes on the society. That's the point I'm trying to make with that. And so be discerning. That this could be also in Taoist, and other religions. It may be the same type of thing. To me, organized religion is an organized mess, but that's my opinion. I love religion, but I don't like the organization of religion, because to me, it diminishes the value of it, and it really is more about the control aspect, from what I've been able to understand. Yeah, all right. I wasn't gonna say that, but we can share our opinions. Yes, same 100%. Thanks, Donna. Um, and Jody. Oh, I don't remember what movie we were saying. Uterus is the holy grail, and I just did sweat lodge. To me, the sweat lodge is the cave womb of Mother Earth. So I go in the lodge. Um, I have a comment I want to hide. I go into lodge. Yeah, that was right after the eclipse. It's funny. And Yolanda, I think you're around Jamestown. I don't know if you had the same experience, but basically, once the light came, it was a matter of 5 minutes. The sun came out. But it was time to go into lodge, so I went into the sweat lodge, and I just set the intention. I'm just going to leave it all in the lodge, everything I don't need anymore, because I'm coming into a new me, a new reality, a new 2.0 version of myself, basically. And it was really, really powerful, and having physical symptoms. I'm itching a lot, but anyways, and Felicia's saying, I can find the tree. Oh, yes, I have no doubt that you can. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Yes. Yeah, they do. Yes. Oh, the Da Vinci Code. I never read the Da Vinci Code, and I should, right? That would be worthy reading. I read Holy Blood, Holy Grail. One that I really like. Yeah, I didn't read the Magdalene books. Also, I'd love to read that as well. But the one I really loved on esoteric Christianity was the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. And I recommend that, because yeah, a lot of good stuff there. And anyhow, back to tarot. Imagine that, it's tarot time. Let's go back to tarot. Here we go. This is the card they want me to pull. Pregnancy. We've been getting that theme. Now, pregnancy can be birth of new ideas, birth of a new self. It can be symbolic. It also happens to be the Four of Vessels, which is the Four of Cups in the tarot, which can be, fours can be about the earth. It's or about, it could be about fire too, because it's in numerology. It's not fire. It's Uranus, associated with the planet Uranus. When you get fours, it's time to think outside the box, basically. But it can be, contentment. That's the word. And she's by the tree. We were talking about trees. She's almost one with the tree in this. It's almost like the consciousness of the trees. The trees are often called the record keepers by the Native Americans. And I haven't done this for a while. I should get back into it, but I would go hiking. I hold the trees. And this is, I love tree hugging or tree holding. And you could try this. The first thing is, you find a tree that speaks to you, that you feel drawn to. Put your hand around it or hug it, either way. Be present and open, and you'll start to feel the energy flows of the trees. At least this is my experience. And after even less than a minute, those energy flows become part of my energy flow. So I feel that in me. And every now and then I get a communication. And one time in Woodstock, holding this tree, and I saw this big storm, and there's lots of lightning, lots of wind. And then I looked up because I felt like the tree was saying it was damaged in the storm, and I looked up, and sure enough, the tree went up. Then it slanted a little bit, then it went up, which is a sign that the tree got damaged at that point. And then I said, "Oh, you saw the wind blew you down," and very very clearly I heard I got struck by lightning. It wasn't the wind; it was lightning. So anyway, that's one of my many many tree stories. Yeah, and it's content. It looks like she's singing or chanting, but there's joy, in this card also. There's an expression of the heart and an expression of joy. And we have to remember that it's so easy. I mean, for me anyway, it's so easy to get frustrated out there. It's unfortunate, but people are very confused now, and it's part of the programming. So it's kind of like you go out in crowd or go shopping or whatever. It almost is like energetic mayhem. I have to remind myself to hold that contentment in my heart and not be affected by negative energies, but rather be a beacon of positive energy to affect the negative energy, basically. So I'll smile at the cashier, talk to people, be friendly, and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's basically that. Be in your heart, be in your center, be grounded, and that'll keep you in the eye of the storm. Oh, what are you guys saying? Yeah, churches. Oh gosh, don't talk to me about pregnancy. And then when you're saying, so this looking for the God particle. Interesting. Yeah, there's yeah, I love that. Oh, let me hide the current. I love that branch of spirituality. Talks about the Christ oil and the number 33 being prevalent. Most humans, or on average, are born with 33 vertebrae. Also, so that's another 33, and it's according to who you talk to, Christ allegedly died at age 33, although in the book of Luke it says 33 to 39, but in other writings it talks about 33. And then by the time we're grown up, it said that some of our vertebrae fuses, and then the average adult has actually 24. Anyways, unconditional. Oh, that's beautiful. So there's some good energy to take away, because I know that was a challenging situation for you. Yeah, since I'm chronically ill. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry that you're chronically ill. I can relate. I've definitely had some things, and I I had the severe chronic eczema back in the day, almost till I was age 60, and it took me 3 years, and doing the leaky gut syndrome diet twice, and but every day, even if I was in a major flare in my mind, I'm not itching. My skin's perfect, and I really focus on making that my reality. And it did go away. It took about 3 years of work, but it did go away. And it's allegedly incurable. It reminds me of, I've told you a lot about Native Americans. It reminds me of a Sundance ceremony where the dancers, basically they get pierced from behind. They hang from a tree for 4 days, no food or water, and the spirit takes over, because our physical bodies, are said to not be able to, you know, survive without water for more than 3 days. They do, by the way, they do sweat lodge before they go up on the tree also. So we are so much more amazing than most people realize. We have all these dormant DNA strands that within them contain these supernatural abilities that are really natural. They're supernatural because we're not aware of them yet. And people like Wim Hof demonstrate that, and the Russian wrestler, he won the gold medal back in the day, and he got stranded in northern Wisconsin in a snowmobiling accident where a snowmobile went through the ice into the water. It got down to 25 below that night, and he lived to see the next day. Like, he's wet and 25 below zero, he survived. So our bodies are so freaking amazing, and we're going to learn more and more about that. So um Yeah, granted, things like lupus are a little bit of a different ball game than eczema, but it's all the immune system and everything. So anyway, this is the Isis Oracle deck. I said, what deck did I just grab? So we'll get a message from the Egyptian deities. So feel better, Jen, and everybody that's going through chronic illness. There's a lot of flare-ups now. There's the energy's really strong. It's trying to purge our bodies. There's toxins all over. We all have microplastics in our systems. I've been seeing a real uptake in the chemtrails, and I'm very careful to discern common contrails from chemtrails because, believe it or not, and I see this so many places and it's wrong. And I'm like, if we're trying to expose things, we've got to be clear about this. Like if a lampshade moves like in my bedroom, before I assume a spirit's visiting me, I'm gonna check if the window's open first. Contrails under the right atmospheric conditions can last 20 minutes in the sky, and I saw that in the 60s even, unless they're using commercial jets for chemtrailing and they're concealing that in the jet fuel. That's a possibility that may exist. But chemtrails have a look. The cloud, they form these little clouds. They're usually under the cirrus level, where you would expect contrails to remain in the sky because the atmospheric conditions are right to create ice crystal clouds. And they usually come in bunches. And I was driving back from Western New York, from Lilydale, even west of Elmira, and they were just chemtrailing the crap out of the skies. And it's like, there's no airports near here to explain that crisscrossing pattern in that area, basically. And it was lower. So anyway, but the reason I bring that up is because these are toxins that we're breathing in. So a lot of our illness, do the best we can, but we're exposed to a lot of toxins. But again, our bodies are amazing. And Spirit's saying, you can handle about 100 times the amount of toxins that's in your body. That we're that amazing. We're equipped to be able to handle some degree. I mean, not everything, obviously. Not all toxins are created equal, but the idea, I think what they're trying to tell me is not to present any kind of fear-based sort of slant on that information. Let's not feel like victims. Oh, they're doing this. They're spraying the skies. They're putting plastics in our food, but rather step back in empowerment and override this stuff. Anyway, so what does Isis Oracle have to say? I'm saying, put on your glasses. The Brother in Darkness. This is a new card. I got this as a gift from Mr. Floyd's channeling channel. Thanks, Josh. And overcoming negative energy with feminine power. That's interesting. I'll often call on the goddess Kali. That's my first initiation was with Kali, or my second initiation. Then I had one with Sekhmet also. Somebody from Australia came, and she revealed later, she came to visit me and my housemate at the time because she was a Sekhmet initiate, and she said that Sekhmet told her to come to the States to initiate me. So I had a 2-day initiation with her. So that was kind of interesting. But anyway, so the divine feminine is a force to be reckoned with for sure. So that might be good advice because a lot of us are under attack because we're trying to help people awaken, and the negative current in the collective attacks us basically. So this is a good message for me and maybe for you guys also. And I'll I'm gonna leave this card out and I'm gonna read the whole meaning of it, and you could probably find it online. It would take me at least 5 minutes to read the whole meaning of that, but this is about overcoming and embracing that divine feminine. We're sort of shifting back into the balance from the patriarchal to more the balance. So the divine feminine's getting stronger anyways. So I have a few other things. Let's do our frequency of the week. So this is from the the sacred geometry cards. Okie dokie. What time is it? Yeah, it's noon already. So once we're done here, if you want to catch a 1 minute short that just came out at noon, assuming that Mercury retrograde didn't do anything to it. It's just a 60-second video on different possible ascension symptoms that some people are going to experience in the aftermath of this eclipse season. So that's on the channel. God, this card keeps coming up. Oh my goodness. Tantric journey, sacred sexuality. Although Tantra is not just about sex, by the way, there's white Tantras too. But the frequency of tantric journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. And there's a quote, from Brigid or the charge of the goddess. She's a Celtic goddess. And I forgot the whole um poem, is it, or whatever it is. It's a lot of people that practice Wicca, neo-paganism, refer to that. But at the end of it, it's like all acts of like ecstasy shall be my ritual, or you will find me at the and another line, from your greatest ecstasies or your deepest despairs, you will find me. Basically, that's the goddess. So that's the feminine aspects of deity. So anyway, meaning on segment that comes with your deck. I'm sure. With the Isis card, I'm sure there's a Sekhmet card. I mean, Sekhmet, may be one of the line people from Lyra, an extraterrestrial traveler. You can imagine being, like, say, in Egypt or Greece or wherever, like 5,000 years ago or whatever, and then a craft comes from the sky and these beings come out of it, and they had these extraordinary technology that looked like magic. We think they were gods also, right? So it's very, very possible that a lot of these deities were really, like Lyrans or Arcturians and so forth and so on. Bee pollen for immunity. Yeah, I should get some local bee pollen. If you get local bee pollen, that's the way to go for enhanced immunity, especially for allergies. So anyway, so that's tantric journey. If you want to just kind of absorb the energy for a second, right in the card there. I feel like they're saying, not. I'm not talking about anything sexual, but to have sensual experiences with yourself also, or union with God. Okay, I get it. Sacred Tantra is like a union with Source or God as well, that you can experience through sensual activities or sexuality, sacred sexuality, of course, or fun sexuality. um, so last but not least, I want to get an angel message. I don't know the dates. I know there's going to be a couple of live streams. There's going to be one before the full moon, and then either Heather and I or myself will do energetic transmissions for healing and expansion and growth on the full moon. So we do that all the time. You're also saying UFOs, yes. I have any felines. Yeah. People that are cat lovers. I mean, I've always been a cat lover. So, you may be a Lyran starseed. I think most of us have more than one origin, because I know the Arcturians were my thing even before I knew about the Arcturians. I remember as a child just staring at the map and looking at the big island of Hawaii, or Hawaii Island. For some reason, I was just so attracted to that. I finally visited Hawaii Island. I've visited twice now, and I was told that there's an Arcturian portal right at the Merkaba point. There's 6 Merkaba points on the planet, or 8, the 2 poles, and then at 19.5 degrees latitude. Anyway, there's 3 different points, and Kilauea, the longest standing active volcano, just happened to be one of those points. I said there's an Arcturian portal there, which made a lot of sense to me. So anyhow, yeah, a lot of Kundalini energy too, yeah. And Yogiji, as MDR is saying, that's Yogi Bhajan. If you don't understand that, we're talking about Kundalini yoga. Certainly, Yogi Bhajan was not immune to the lower nature of humanity. We'll put it that way. But still, a great channel and a great teacher. And I love Kundalini yoga. When I got this deck, this was the very first card I pulled. So this is my card, my message, and it's your message now also. So it's all of our message. And Akasha, you are a spiritual teacher. You have the ability to counsel others and help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine life mission. I got these cards probably a decade ago at least. I pulled them. I pulled Akasha, and I was doing readings and mediumship and all the things that it says there. And then I said, these cards are powerful. I like that. That was perfect for me. But it's perfect for you also now. So I'm gonna leave you with that message. Enjoy the rest of the day. You try to stay in your heart, stay in the center. You don't get too upset with the news or other people. I think, in the original card, they're just saying people are getting even more and more wonky, and you just have to hold your center, hold your space, speak up when you need to. Don't be don't acquiesce too easily, but we have to use our discernment also. Like the song by the Birds that I like, "Turn, Turn, Turn." One of the lines is, "There's a time to kill, there's a time to heal." So there's a time to be love and light, and there's a time to be the warrior also. So but if you're in your heart and not in your ego, then you know the time. Because sometimes our battles are just ego battles where it's really time for peace. So anyway, that's what I've got for you. Meditate, practice presence, practice heart, brain coherence, or an equivalent practice. And we will see you at the next video. And yeah, I love this community too, and I love that it's growing, and I love all the people old and new. Thank you. And get some rest. Yeah. I don't have to work today. This is it. And then I'm off tomorrow. So I mean, I've got work to do, but yeah, catching up on rest. Yes. Check. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you next time.